Hello, Brother Monroe here. Welcome back to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. And, well, as you hopefully know from watching my previous previous campaign video from the 1920s, I did kind of say that, war was definitely going our way and I was encountering quite a few bugs. So this is a couple of updates later. I'm in 1931, January 1931, and the German Empire has returned to their aggressive ways. Accusing us of warm incidents. I've left my ships in port. I haven't tried to aggravate them at all, but I'm not paying them £101 million, dollars even. So war it is. Now, I shall take you through the fleet that we have to take on the Germans. Now, the fleet isn't finished. As you can see here, we have a few ships under construction. But I'll go through what we have. So, first of all, we have a ship that should be familiar to anybody who watched the 1920 series. This is the Queen Elizabeth class, or my take on the Queen Elizabeth class. Has returned. Minor changes to the layout. So the Mark 1 15-inch guns have been replaced with Mark 3s. They've also been upgraded to have semi-auto loaders and improved turret rotation mechanisms. The armor has been changed to an all-or-nothing scheme. I think I removed one of the secondary turrets here. The anti-aircraft battery has been improved with Mark 5 2-inch guns. We're now firing super heavy shells with Tube Powder 2. Otherwise, pretty similar. I think they lost a little bit of range going from the standard to the refit. But I tried to keep as faithfully as I could to the 1920 design. So yeah, these ships, as I said in the 1920 video, have been refitted and sent back into service. Now, there are only go back class. There are only 4 of these: Queen Elizabeth, Warspite, Valiant, and Malaya. Because of course, Barham we did lose, so I have not replaced her. They are quite crew intensive. They are quite expensive, but I have kept them around. The Revenge class I have kind of hand waved as being sent off to the Far East, or perhaps scrapped as some budget saving to be replaced by a new class or something like that, because A, I couldn't afford to build them, and B, the game doesn't have their hull anymore. So the Dreadnought 6 or whatever it is that I built the Revenges on is considered obsolete, and you don't get a modernized Dreadnought hull version of it. So returning as well, we have our 2 quote-unquote Nelson class ships. These have seen minimal changes. They've had their armor improved and switched to an all-or-nothing scheme, and that has freed up weight to improve the guns in the same way. They now have autoloaders, super heavy shells, and our Mark III 16-inch guns. But otherwise, very, very similar ship to the 1920 series, just with a few tweaks here and there. And those are our 2 operational battleship classes. We then have the Admiral class returning, i.e. HMS Hood. This required a few more tweaks to get it to work, because I think I built the Admiral class on a Battlecruiser 5 hull. This is a Battlecruiser 6 hull, but I've tried to keep it roughly the same. Again, has the improved gun systems of the Mark III, and a pretty nice layered armor scheme, which is now an all-or-nothing improved scheme, which is where I got the weight for the guns for. And she has 2 funnels, and I think the original Admiral class only had 1, so she's had her engines, in fact all of them have. This is where it's most obvious. They've had their geared steam turbines replaced with double geared steam turbines. So they've had an engine refit to improve things. I think the Shaft 3 is new as well. So there's been a few upgrades on the engines, but they go the same speed. And obviously we only have the one of her. Now we do have another... prices are all wrong. Hold on. We do have another battleship. This is the replace for the Revenge class. This is my take on the Lion class. No KG5s. Yeah, no KG5s. And I'll explain that in a minute. So, these Lion class I kind of see as an evolution of the Nelsons as I have them, going from 8 guns in 4 dual turrets, to 9 guns in 3 triple turrets. Otherwise, they are pretty similar. They do have spacious crew quarters, though, which is nice. And they can go 30 knots. So a nice little modern battleship. Again, they have an all-or-nothing scheme with a kind of... I'm trying out this new belt scheme. I want to see if it works. So the outer layer is 16, and then 8, and then 4, and then 2. And that should really help keep the Citadel nice and protected. They're pretty good handling ships. And I have 2 of them under construction. I'm going to build a total of 4. I was planning on trying to build a total of 6. But we'll get to that in a minute. We then have our smaller ships. So the destroyers, I spent a lot of time pootling about, and I ended up building this, which is so close to a tribal class, I've just called it a tribal class. So I've gone just with straight up 5-inch guns. So we have 8 5-inch guns, a smattering of 2-inch guns, just singles, a quad torpedo launcher, depth charges, 2 funnels. They can do 38 knots, and yeah, otherwise very similar to the previous destroyer builds that I've done. Oh, we do have 21-inch torpedoes. So very much a powerful and capable destroyer class. I think it's on the destroyer leader hull. I'll have to double check that. And if I end up needing more destroyers, I'm going to build something a bit cheaper and a bit smaller, because the tribals are 13 million a pop. So it would be nice to have something a little bit cheaper. Then we have our light cruiser. So this is an evolution of the Leander class that I was using in the 1920 series. This is loosely a town class with 12 6-inch guns and an AA battery. They can do 32 knots. Not bad. I'm not a huge fan of light cruisers in this era, but you know, hopefully they'll prove useful. And then lastly, but by no means least, we have the quote-unquote county class. So this is an evolution of the Hawkins class from the 1920 series. I don't know where the Hawkins have gone. They've been sent off to pastures new, I suppose. 32 knot heavy cruiser, good range, maximum bulkheads, decent protection, and 9 9-inch guns, but these are Mark 5s. So an improvement over the Hawkins class in pretty much every way, I think. Hopefully they will do well. They even have anti-torpedo 4 and things like that. So that is what we have to take on the Germans. What about numbers? Well, we have 6 battleships. So we have the 4 Queen Elizabeths and 2 Nelsons. We have 1 battlecruiser, that is the Admiral class. I don't have Renown Repulse. And I'm going to hand wave that as that they are in mothballs, and when we get access to a hull that I can actually build them on, I might do a refit of them. We have 6 heavy cruisers, 10 light cruisers, and 16 destroyers. However, we also have, under construction, HMS Lion and HMS Temeraire, which are 15 and 21 months away, respectively. And we also have 4 more heavy cruisers on the way as well. So now that I have the money, so I have been trying to spend on tech as much as possible, and I've kept my crew training and transport capacity maxed out. There isn't anything coming, I don't think, that is super useful. New funnels. Mark 5 3-inch guns, that is nice, to be fair. Getting oxygen torps, but I tend not to use them. And that's about it. Rangefinders, we already have coincidence 5s, but we are getting radar 2 soon, which is good. And more towers, okay. So we shall see what happens. I am going to order, however, 10 million. How much money do I have spare? Oh, I got loads. Yeah, I'm going to order the rest of the Lion class. We're going to expedite that. So yes, we'll keep Thunderer. Do you know what? We'll keep Iron Duke, because the last two, and we'll keep Audacious. The last two Lion classes were never named, but Lion, Temeraire, and I think it was Thunderer and Conqueror were the other ones. Let me just check that. Yeah. So we'll go for that, and that will give us a nice little boost to our capital ship firepower, hopefully. But they won't be ready for 27 months, so there are ways out. In the meantime, I'm going to get all of the big ships on sea control, and I'm going to get all the cruisers on sea control as well. See if we can't take the fight to the Germans a little bit. Try and shoo away these task forces, and then we'll see how we're placed. We'll also build up a little bit of a reserve of money. Now, in terms of politics, I think it's just me. Yeah, it's just me. France is probably going to enter the war on my side very, very soon. Italy's always a question mark, but it looks like they're going to come in with the Central Powers this time. Fleet sizes. I'll get a look at Germany's next turn, but we have 39 ships. France has 33. Italy has 23. Austria-Hungary has 31. Germany has 34. So we are in a similar size in terms of fleets, because I didn't go crazy and build just as many battleships as I possibly could. There is a variety in here. There's a wide variety of ships and things. So yeah, France and Italy are slipping, and now Austria-Hungary is joining the war. Very well. Which is going to push Italy even closer to joining the Central Powers. France is going to be at war very, very soon. So let's have a look at the German fleet. 2 battleships, 5 battle cruisers, 9 heavy cruisers, 9 light cruisers, 14 destroyers. Okay. No encounters, though, but their task forces have buggered off. Interesting. But one more turn. We'll see if we get some encounters. We usually do early on. Hopefully that's not the game hanging on building new ships, which can happen. Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Okay. If you do get this, there is a fix. Apart from the game having an end process problem, you can quit the game out and then return, and it will work. So I'm just going to do that, and I'll be back. Welcome back. As I said, if you do get that error, and if you don't leave the game sitting for ages, because it won't finish it. If you can exit back to the main menu and then reload your campaign, do that. But if it just hard locks, then just quit the game, load it back up, and you won't lose any progress. So there's our oxygen torps, and a whole bunch of battles. Oh yes, ambushed in Norway with a heavy with some cruisers. Okay, battleship versus some cruisers. battle cruiser versus some light cruiser. Ooh, that's going to be tough. And then the hood. Okay, so quite a lot of action. Okay, which one? I don't do. Not going to do all of them this episode. Let's take out the Queen Elizabeth. So, what are your heavy cruisers packing? 11.7-inch guns. Good grief. And a bunch of torpedo tubes. They are not super fast, though. 27 knots. And a light cruiser has 6.4-inch guns. Okay. Try this. See how it goes. You are on a screen, that's good, but I want you normal. Save your torps. Turn off the avoid. Where are they? Over there. Nice to see them back, Queen Elizabeths. They did do pretty well in the 1920 campaign. Despite bugs, which I think are fixed now with the penetration of things. Here are these heavy cruisers. Here, like an amped up Deutschland. The AB triple. Oh, sorry, AX triple even. I'm not a huge fan of. And they are in range, apparently. It's going to be interesting for them. I doubt we're going to get a hit super early on. But you never know your luck. I think they're on the opposite course. Here they are. Let's turn. Don't target lock. Or that. There we go. It's a bit of accuracy. And fire all the guns. Looks like they are trying to engage at range, which is not their best bet, I don't think. Partial. Partial pen. 6-inch guns opening up as well. We've got here, here's HMS Southampton, not Northampton. Looks like she is trying to eliminate the destroyer. At least I think that's a destroyer. No, that's a light cruiser. Running. Switch fire to the rear ship. Running or just launching torpedoes everywhere? Not sure. launching some torpedoes. Southampton going to take manual control over you. At 26 knots, those heavy cruisers are going to well, 27 knots. They're going to struggle to get away. I can chase them with the light cruisers, of course. Yeah, Königsberg firing her torpedoes. Ooh, Southampton firing in return. That's interesting. Ooh. Having a bit of a kiss with Birmingham. Ooh, I'm also going to detach, or rather, I'm just going to put on that battle line. See if we can't deal with the Königsberg. A big hit on one of the heavy cruisers there. Come out. Come out. See if we can get a caught between the two cruisers. Good hit. And that hit me in return, which is rude. Get those guns firing. There we go. Birmingham, how you doing? Also not firing for some peculiar reason. Fire, thank you. Are attracting some fire from the heavy cruisers. Keeping an eye on it. Target lock. Bug. Stopping. Königsberg has taken a lot of damage, but I don't think it's enough to sink her, weirdly. Bring Birmingham and Southampton about. Elizabeth continues to fire on the cruisers. I think she's better off firing at the Princess Wilhelm just now. Oh, big hit on the steer. 700 damage. Yikes. Go, guns finally woken up. Ooh, torpedo. She was in the middle of reloading those. Down she goes. Okay, perfect. Right. Southampton and Birmingham form up on Queen Elizabeth again, please. Who is doing her best to slow down those heavy cruisers. I think they're on the run. have launched some torpedoes towards the light cruisers, which is interesting. What torps are they? 22-inch standards. Okay.
Them a little bit. Birmingham is taking a screening order a little bit in a little bit of an interesting fashion. But I mind, but I'd rather not she gets slapped by one of those 11.7-inch guns, because those are going to hurt. Still, the odd fire here and there does help. These are actually like 8%. So you can hit the slightly more damage than the others. And at the back, yeah, 15%. Birmingham detects torpedoes. Birmingham does detect torpedoes. Detach. Go through the gap. Then rejoin the screen, please. Getting there. Just need to land one solid hit. I don't know what she's up to. There we go. Good hit. You can see what I mean by having an issue. Like, well, they're not actually as armoured as some of the other cruisers we're fighting, but this is a much more modern cruiser. And, yeah, it is suffering under 15-inch gunfire, as it really should. Destroy the torpedo. But Birmingham tracks another launch. Ooh, fuck. There's a torpedo going in a funny direction. Shit. Get out. She might be able to recover from that, but I doubt it. Always lose a light cruiser early on. She has a smoke screen up. The Southampton can come and give her a tow or something. So no engine damage or anything. got a few ricochets. Let's some HE off the main guns, given the angle. Not super heavily armoured, those German heavy cruisers. Yeah, it's setting a few fires, but it's not doing very much. That's more like it. For some flooding. Torpedoes, so they're not releasing them. They're not. I don't know what's happened to Southampton. She seems to be miles away. Steer finally taking some good damage. Just really building up the damage now with the 6-inch guns. The main guns. Do you have torpedoes left? Do you? Do you have 3? Oh, there they are. Ooh. Dodgy torpedoes is such an absolute lottery now. Now we've got a good angle on it. It's just punch holes right through the side of the ship. Also immediately get a target lock bug, which is a very annoying thing, but the enemy seems to be suffering from it too. Pretty badly. Down she goes. Good. We'll be firing on the Cormoran next, won't we? Initial ranging shot pretty terrible. But at least these guns do have a good rate of fire now. At 1.59 rounds per minute. Whereas before they were really struggling with that. Come on. Bunch of overpens. Ship. Straight torpedo though. It's pretty nice. A couple of solid hits. Princess Wilhelm kind of covering for a sister ship. shivering away. Looks like they are. Oh, big hit. Must have gone down the length of the ship. Serious damage on the Princess Wilhelm. More flooding hits. Destroy torpedo, very nice. Small torpedoes. Oh, there we go. Yep, turning away does help with the ricochets and the partial pens, but Jesus Christ, if you get a solid hit, 600 damage, yikes. Meanwhile, those... how many hits have we taken off those 11-inch guns? Yeah, quite a lot, but they really haven't had much success. Down goes the Princess Wilhelm. From here. Yeah, those look like misses to me. Excellent. Oh, Southampton's finally here. She can help out. Definitely suffering, but this feels good. This is very much revenge for the poor old HMS Barham, who came up against a bunch of German ships that we just couldn't pen because of there was an issue with the pen mechanics at the time, but now no such issues. Torpedoes fired, I think, pretty erroneously. There's a reason we have locked on and fired. Always worth checking your ships are actually firing. Sometimes they can decide to take a break where they get this problem. Just manually retarget. suddenly found all their reserve torpedoes. Sunk. Well, that is a nice way to start a campaign, I think. Bit of damage on the Birmingham, but otherwise very nice. 5,600 victory points. Us and the transports are safe. Well, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time for some more Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts, where we're going to do... well, we're going to do all the rest of these fights, but I think we'll start off with this one. The Baden, a 14-inch gun battlecruiser, very fast one too, 32 knots. Again, trying to take out this lonely transport. It'd be interesting to see if I can see her off. Anyway, I'll see you for that one, and thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.